Welcome. Thank you for joining us today to learn more about the Global Day of Jewish Learning. I'm Karen Sponder, Project Director, and I'm happy to have with me Sandra Lilienthal, our Education Director. The Global Day is an annual study event. Jews of all backgrounds from all around the world can learn together and join this global conversation. This year, it is Sunday, November 17th. The theme is Speaking Volumes, and we will explore the power of words, from ancient arguments to modern meanings, from raising our voices to remaining silent. Over 500 communities across the continents unite through study of our shared texts. From a synagogue in St. Petersburg, Russia, to a JCC in Budapest, to a Moishe house in Paris, communities of all organization types and sizes, whether it be in someone's living room or however big the size of event, it spans the map. I'm happy to turn it over to Sandra Lilienthal to tell you a bit about how to get involved in the Global Day.
Thank you, Karen. So how do communities participate in one Global Jewish Day event? There are many different ways you can do this. You can invite a speaker, whether it is a rabbi or an educator or somebody in the community that has something to add to the conversation. Or you can have a small group discussion that is peer-led, or you can have families get together and do experiential activities, or the traditional Beit Midrash learning, or any other creative way in which your community is going to be involved in learning on that day. So if you look at the pictures that we have online, you can see that really you can do it in so many different ways. And one of the beauties of the Global Day is exactly that. You have the flexibility to put together an event that is what your community needs, what would work for that specific group of people. How do you create an event? Well, you start by registering with us, which is free to do. And then you will have access to our resources. We have different kinds of resources, and you have access to all of them and can use one or all in your events. We do offer you a detailed curriculum with a facilitator's guide, and I will get more into that in a little bit. We also offer the material in 4 different languages: English, Hebrew, Russian, and Spanish. Depending on where you are in the world, you may be having an event in one language or even in multiple languages. In South Florida, where I live, we are actually holding events in English, in Hebrew for the Israeli community, and in Spanish for the Latin community. We also offer Global Day on-air videos. I'll talk about the videos in a little bit, but that is also a resource that you have when you register for the Global Day event. Then we give you marketing materials to help you promote the event, not just your event, but the idea that you are participating in a global event. The truth is that the Global Day empowers every person and every community to make Jewish learning happen in a way that works for them and in a way that is easy and fun. So let me talk a little bit about on-air. On November 17th, you will have a couple of options. You can use live video sessions that are being screened in real time. What that means is that wherever you are sitting and watching an online video, there's somebody else across the world doing the same thing. It's a powerful idea to know that you are actually learning together with other people online. But you can also use our archived videos. Archived videos are recordings that have been made already, and they will be there to help you as a material to present on the Global Day, or to be used when you are preparing your sessions. It'll give you ideas on things to bring up, or you can share with your community members at any time during the event, or even maybe before the event if you want them to watch it first and then participate in a discussion. The printed curriculum, which we also give to you, has learning materials for all ages. We have several units for adults, which can also be used by high school students, college students. But we have units for middle school students, for elementary school students, and actually for little kids together with PJ Library. So the material we offer you is extremely easy to use. We have a facilitator guide that will help you prepare not only the texts themselves, but what questions to ask, how much time to give for each part of your presentation. And as we said before, in 4 different languages. We also will give you source sheets that you can share with your participants. So the facilitator has the complete guide, and the participants have all of what they need right in front of them, making it easy for them to participate as well. So I'm going to show you an example of the resource that we offer, of the curriculum. The page that you see on your screen right now is actually from one of our units for this year. This is a unit that discusses Hannah's prayer and how her prayer, the use of words in her prayer, is something that we can learn from. We talk about the fact that when Hannah approaches God, the way she talks to God is almost chutzpahdik, and yet the rabbis seem to think that that's a model of how we should be approaching God. So if you look at that page on the left, you will see that we have sections of the units. And for each section, we will give you an idea of how much time we typically think you should give for that session. So for example, here we have an introduction, and we are suggesting that you spend about 5 minutes on the introduction. With that said, the curriculum is totally flexible. So let's say that you need more time for this. You use whatever time you need. Also, if you note right in the beginning where we have the facilitator's notes, we take into consideration that there will be communities where if you talk about Hannah, everybody knows who you're talking about, everybody knows the background story, and you can jump right into the text. For many other communities, people don't know who Hannah is, or they sort of have heard the name Hannah, but they don't really know the background, the context. So we suggest to the facilitator that if you're working with a group that is not familiar with this yet, we give you a paragraph to introduce Hannah and the book of Samuel to these people. So this flexibility, this ease of use is one of the things that makes the curriculum adaptable to any group that you might be working with. Then continuing down, you will see that we give guided instructions and questions. So if you're facilitating this learning, we will give you an idea of this is what you do now. Now might be the time for you to split into smaller groups and have some hivrutta learning going on, one-on-one learning. We will tell you now might be the time for you to bring back. And sometimes people will ask us, so do I need to do that? No, these are suggestions and you do what works with your group. We give you questions to ask. You can ask these questions, ask different questions. You may feel that one of these questions requires a little more time than we had planned for that specific group, or even time that you had planned. You had planned less time, but now there's an incredible conversation around prayer and words that you want to give some more time to. Totally flexible. You can do that and make it work for your group. You will see also that we bring texts that address each unit's central questions. These texts will vary from biblical texts, Talmudic texts, modern texts. We will have all of them in a unit in a way that participants can be exposed to a variety of Jewish textual learning. This close reading of the text is something that is very special for the Global Day. Your participants, even if they have never studied text before, will feel competent doing it. So people sometimes ask us, why should we join? Our community already has a lot of learning. How is this different? So I think the first and major difference that we can offer you is that you are doing this on the same day that everybody else around the world is doing it. And in this age of divisiveness in our communities, it is so important to have something that unites us all. Makes no difference if you have learned all your life or if this is the first time you're coming to a learning session. It makes no difference if you live in Asia, Europe, South America, North America, Australia. We're all together. It makes no difference what your level of observance is, what your level of knowledge is. It's just a whole Jewish community getting together to learn. So that's one of the reasons why you should join and why it is different from all of the other learning programs that we all see offered all the time. The other thing is that this really sparks a love of Jewish learning, and at the same time is helping you build community. By bringing people together and using text as a platform for discussion, for getting to know each other better, for understanding the other, you are building your community, you are including people of different ages, and learning, as we all know, does lead to further learning and to commitment to your own community. So I invite you to try it out. I love this. Rabbi Steinsaltz says, Torah is the shared inheritance of all the Jewish people. That is a message that is very, very important for the Global Day. We believe that everybody should have access to Jewish texts. And together, through learning, we can really unite the Jewish people. I will say that, as Karen mentioned in the beginning, you have our email addresses there. And I will be happy to talk one-on-one with any of you if there is any question. If I can help you build an event in your community, please, please reach out to me. I would love to help you make it happen.
We have some questions from online viewers. The first one is, what's the cost to participate?
There is absolutely no cost to participate in the Global Day. Your registration is free and the material is free once you are registered. You have to be registered in order to have access to the material, but there is zero cost associated with this.
Thanks. Our second question is, how big does the gathering need to be considered a Global Day event?
As long as you have more than one person, you already have a community. So we have events with very few people. Sometimes people invite a couple of friends and they get together and they do peer-led discussions. That is a way to participate. And then sometimes we have events with 150 people. So it really, there is no minimum. A community can be small, a community can be large, and a community is what we're building when everybody is learning on the same day. So even if you're doing a discussion in your living room with 6 people or 4 people, you truly are participating in a global conversation.
Great. Our last question is someone writing, I have never led a learning session before. Is this something that I can do?
I will tell you that when you look at our curriculum, you will see how easy it is to use and how we guide facilitators, people who sometimes have never led a session, we guide them on how to lead a session. With that said, that is one of the reasons I'm here as the education director. I am here available for anybody if you would like help preparing a session, if you have questions. At any point while you are preparing your event, if you have questions on how do I address this text, or I have never seen this, can you give me a little bit more of background on this text? I am available one-on-one, whether it is through email. Contact me always through email, but we can schedule a Zoom conversation. I would love to help you make it work for you. And you will see how easy it is to use this material. It will empower not just people who have never done it, but it will also empower those who see people who have never done it doing it to really become leaders in their own communities for that day.
And I just wanted to let people know that this webinar is being recorded. And the recording and this PowerPoint presentation will be available to download from theglobalday.org/webinar. Thank you so much, Sandra, and thank you for joining us today.